Welcome everybody. We are running training, today on the legal product at Primerica. I love this product. We write a lot of it. The clients love it. It's a great product that really everybody needs. And so what they want us, to do is we want to train you on what we train the reps on in our office. Okay, so one of the things that we do is right up front on visit number 1, we always draw this out. And we literally draw it out. We don't create it and bring it nice and pretty. We draw it out because we want them to watch us draw it out with them. And this is what we do exactly. We say, this is your house. This is your financial house, okay? And we're going to help you strengthen your house. So the number one thing when you're growing your home, building your house, you're going to lay the what? Everybody always uses the word foundation. So in this house, that's life insurance. That is the most critical thing in the house because that will wipe you out, tomorrow. Wife works, the spouses work, bring in their income, live on their income, and there isn't usually a lot left over at the end of the month. So if one of them wasn't there tomorrow, wipes them out quick. That's why that's the most critical thing, life insurance. Then you got 1A, the roof. You have legal. Okay? When you're building a home, you don't bring in all the nice stuff in your home. The granite and the wood floors and the cabinets and the appliances. You don't bring all that in unless the roof's there, right? Because it rains. And if it rained with no roof and you had all that nice stuff in there, it's going to ruin us. So the legal planning part of it is the roof. Here we have a will. The majority of people need a will. Everybody needs a will, but almost nobody has one, right? Number 2, we have living will. And we'll explain more what that is, but everybody needs one of those too. It's just nobody has them. And number 3, power of attorney. Everybody needs these documents. So what this product does helps you with that area. Then we work on number 2, and that's growing your emergency account. Because if you're laid off of work, if there's an injury and you're not able to work, you need emergency money. Number 3, we work on retirement because one day, even if you love your job, if you're that rare person that loves their job, when you're 80 years old, you don't want to work. So you need to plan that. Number 4, if you have little kids, we're going to plan your child's college education. On the next visit, I need to know how much you could use every month on your house. This is your house. If right now it's a limited number, it's a small number, that's okay. If it's $100, that's okay. Because this isn't overnight. This is a process. You and I will grow a relation over years and years and years. At work, usually each year you have a raise. And if you have a raise next year, ring me up. We'll add more into your house. You have a raise the year after that or the year after that. Over time, we will plan all the items out, but we're going to work it in order. Number 1 is the number 1 thing we're going to do, life insurance. Number 1A is the next thing, then emergency, then retirement, then college, in that order. Do you have any questions on that? And so that's what I do on every client visit at the end of the visit, because this is where they'll bring up the objections. Like, well, I'm really worried more about college than life insurance. Let me explain to you. If we opened you up a plan for college and one of you guys wasn't there tomorrow, that plan is now worthless because there's not enough cash. And you're going to withdraw that cash and use it on whatever you need at that time, and there's no money left over for college. So there's an order. I think, well, I'm more interested in college over planning retirement. Well, let me explain something to you. Your child, they could work their way while they're in college. They could work their way, through college, but you can't work your way through retirement. There's a plan of order that you need to work on. And if we're in agreement with this, We could run your F&A, help you out. But this is the smartest way where no matter what happened, to your house, hurricane, rainstorm, whatever, it's strong. There ain't no way it'll crumble. Any questions on that? And they say no, then we move on. On the next visit is really when we bring up legal, really explaining it all, okay? But on visit number 1, let me bring this up again. When we bring this up, we let them know right up front. We say, listen, on the next visit, there's some rough questions that you'll need, to know the answers to. Like, number 1, who would raise your little kids if you guys weren't there tomorrow? Because usually husband, wife have their own plans on what would happen. But the reality is with no will in place, it's left up to the government to work that out. And if you were me, I don't want to leave nothing up, to the government, to plan nothing out. So you need to this week have a one-on-one with each other. Who would you want raising your kids if you weren't there? Because next week, when we write you the legal plan, we're going to write you the will questionnaire. I'm going to walk you through the will questionnaire. And that's usually one of the questions that, they're like, well, I want this person or I want that person to do it. So have that one-on-one this week. The next thing is, who would handle all the money? Because now that we're going to write you life insurance, if you guys passed away, there's $1 million there, let's just say, and your little ones are little, they're not old enough yet. Who would you trust handling the money? So who would run the money? Who would raise your kids? Those are critical questions that next week when we visit you, we need to know the answers to. Any questions on that? And they say no. And so on the next visit, when we bring it up, we're going to review the F&A. We're going to close the life app because that's number 1. And then we're going to close the legal. And if there's any leftover money, we'll work on number 2. And if there's nothing left there, we'll wait until next year or the year after that to work on number 3 and number 4. But we'll work it in order with the client, grow a relationship with them. Everybody wants all of this. They want the whole house in order. But the reality is, economically speaking, they're not able to have it all at one time. So we work on 1A, number 2, number 3, number 4. Let me explain the value that it brings you. Number 1, helping your client with their will. Okay? We already briefly went over everybody needs a will. If you have little kids, you need a will because you need to know who's raising them, who's running the money that you're leaving them, and all of that stuff. I don't want to leave that up, to anybody. I want to know if anything tragic happened to me that XYZ's raising our kids. Wouldn't you want that too? And right there, you should close everybody on that because everybody needs a will. You ask them questions like, has it ever crossed your mind to write a will? They always say yes. Have you ever laid in your bed at night wondering, man, we got these kids now, house, we're married, we need a will. Yeah, we need a will. But they never move on it. Why? Cost. With this product, all that's handled in there, okay? Power of attorney. Everybody needs one of those. What does that do? It lets the spouse handle your issues if you're not able to. I love explaining this with a real client example, okay? One of the clients that I had years ago, he was tragically in a wreck, head-on collision. They airlifted him to Jackson Memorial Hospital, and he was there, quadriplegic in a coma. True life story. They owned a beautiful place, to live, a lot of the equity in the house. The wife wasn't working, 1 child, and the wife said, I want to move near husband in the hospital. So why don't we unload the home? We have a lot of equity in it, and this was when real estate was rocking. They would have listed it in a week and unloaded it, no problem. $500,000 worth of equity in the house. And the lady said, we're going to unload the house, use that on a little unit right near hospital is, so that we could visit him every day and not worry about any mortgage and all that kind of stuff. Great plan. Problem is, in order to unload the house, you needed to enter a real estate agreement. And in order to enter the real estate agreement, you needed wife and husband to autograph that contract. Husband's in a coma. He's not able to do that. So the wife was not able to enter into that contract. If they would have had a power of attorney, it would have allowed the wife to enter into that contract. You know, to list their place, you need a power of attorney. This is included in this product. It's unbelievable, right? Living will, okay? Years ago, there was a lady in Florida, and the lady was living on life support for like 12 years, 13 years. It was in the news. The spouse said, I know, we brought this up one-on-one together. The wife would not want to live like this. It's horrible. But the mother was waiting on a miracle. And if there's no living will written, when would that ever happen where everybody would agree, right? Like never. And so the spouse and the in-laws were now at war over 12 years. And the kids that were involved not only lost their mother, but they're watching their dad and their in-laws at war and at bat. If there was a living will done, and the living will said after 90 days, 120 days, 180 days, whatever it was, it's what they would have wanted. It's so critical to have this stuff in order, especially when it's husband, wife, little kids. I mean, it's responsibility is really what that is. So these are critical things in the legal plan that are included. Now, number 4, I'm going to put traffic, okay? Now, you know, I have been unjustly, let's say unjustly written up many times for driving over the limit, okay? I mean, maybe it wasn't unjustly, maybe it was justly. I do like to drive fast, but in the traffic part of it, here you have a law firm representing you. So you ring them up. Now, I'm not telling you with this product you can break laws and it's not a problem. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is over the years, there were multiple times where I was unjustly written a traffic ticket and the law firm resolved it. I don't know what they do. I'm not a lawyer, but what I do is I ring them up. I go, this is what happened, and somehow they handle it. And it just went away multiple times. Not every time. There was one time where they rang me up and they said, we recommend traffic school. I was like, what do you mean? Because the other ones you all handle. They said, well, in this case, there's no way to handle it, so we recommend our legal advice to you is traffic school. So it's not always gonna get you off the hook. If you don't have a lawyer, if you don't have a law firm, you have no help. So when they write you that, it's ticket, it's you versus them. I like you and your lawyers versus them. Wouldn't you? Sure. So the next thing here is the IRS. You know, everybody loves the IRS, and they're able to audit you. And if you've ever had that letter, I'm lucky. I've never gotten audited yet. Let me knock on some wood here. But if we ever were audited, I want to know I got a law firm right there to ring them up, say, hey, listen, this is what's happening, and they're there to help me in there. With this product, you don't want to overpromise, but you want to properly explain it to them. Number 1 is you explain to the client, okay? It's not like you're going to ring up the law firm and they're there waiting on you. Like they've got nothing else, to do. They're waiting on your call, okay? That's not the way it works. There's a number. You ring them up. You explain to them what is the issue you're having. They'll ask you all the information, your name, your account number, all of that kind of stuff. And then you explain to them exactly what the legal issue is. Within 1 day at the latest, it's usually quicker, but they have 1 day, the lawyer that works in that law, in the area of law where your issue is, will reach you personally. And then you explain the issue to the lawyer, and the lawyer will let you know your rights. Just knowing your rights is empowering. And I've just learned that using real client examples helps you learn more than reading off of a paper, right? So one of the clients, he was driving on the expressway, and this lady was driving on the off-ramp, and at the last minute, the lady drives over to the left lane. They crash. The lady passes away, and the Florida troopers, or the law enforcement people that went there, arrested the client. Now, luckily, this was a legal client. He rang up legal right away, and they got him off of everything because it wasn't his fault. What would you do if you were just driving on the expressway and a lady drives into your lane, crashes into you, lady passes away, and now you're arrested under that charge? I mean, and if you own this product, you have a whole law firm. Your law firm that you can grow a relationship with, that you could visit. You could visit the law firm. They have will questionnaire trainings in the law firm. And I had no lawyer when I was new in Primerica, but now I have this product now since 1999, I think. And here's what I learned. When you're the owner of the product, when you use the product over and over and over again, and you realize how awesome it is, how it helps you out. Example, I close on our brand new home. It's a multi-million-dollar home. And the closing papers, I brought them over to the legal, because anything that you have to autograph your name on, you should read, and you should have your lawyers read. So anyways, I brought it over there. They knocked off 11 grand off of the closing cost. $11,000. Now, if I didn't have lawyers, like everybody else at their closing of their mortgage, they're in there, there's all these papers, you're overwhelmed, you're like all pumped up because it's your new house, and you're autographing your name, you don't even know what you're doing. We brought it over there, $11,000 off the closing cost. What's that worth? I was empowered when I walked in and said, our lawyers want this removed, and this removed, and this removed, and this removed. And if you're not going to remove it, our lawyers said they'll close the loan over there, all the legal paperwork at a lower cost. And they're like, what? And they lowered everything to rock bottom prices. 11 grand was in our pocket, not in their pocket. Just so many awesome things. If you've ever rented an apartment and at the end of the lease, you leave the apartment and it's looking nice and you're like, I want my money back now, the extra rent that you left them up front. And they go, well, there's this little scratch on the wall, so that's worth $1,000, so you lose that. But if you have a lawyer representing you, writing a letter, they will write letters, to whoever you need them to write letters to. The law firm of XYZ represents you in this case, and a letter goes out, and the minute people read letters that are written from lawyers, they move a lot quicker. They move a lot quicker than if you're just trying to reach them. Homeowners, if you live in one of them neighborhoods with the homeowners associations, I just love this example. There was this tree that was dropping brown gunk off of it on my brand new car. So I rang up the HOA. I said, hey, listen, you have this tree. It's dropping brown gunk on my brand new car every morning. I got to walk out, wash it off. Would you please replace the tree? I got nowhere with them for weeks. I was very angry. And then I remembered, I got lawyers. What am I doing? So I rang up the law firm, and the law firm said, no problem. We'll write them a letter. Great. They write them a letter. Within 24 hours, they're ringing me up at the office. I didn't even know they knew the office number, honestly. They ring me up and they go, Mr. Oropesa, we didn't know that you were angry over this tree. And I was like, now I know they were lying to me because they knew about it because I had been. And you know what I said? I said, reach our lawyers in this matter. I am not no longer involved in it. Goodbye. And I hung up on them. I was empowered. The next morning, I'm sleeping, and this loud noise, like, it like woke me up. I run over to the window. They're removing the tree, and they're replacing it with a new tree. No more brown gunk on the hood of my car. These are all just examples of having power when you have a law firm representing you. And we all want that. Products that we bought, I bought a Jaguar one time, and it just wasn't running properly. And I was like, man, this is a lot of money, and it's just not running properly. I went over to the Jaguar place and said, hey, listen, this isn't running properly, and they wouldn't trade it in. I rang up our legal provider. It was amazing. They rang me up and said, not only will trade it in, which one would you want? And they lowered the price $80 a month on the lease. So I don't know what the lawyers wrote in the letter. I don't know what the lawyer said. All I know is I have lawyers. I now have a law firm representing me, and you could have the exact thing representing you. What we recommend to every client of ours, you need to grab this product, you need to use this product, you need to love this product, you need to use it for everything. Ring them up for any question. The more you use the product, the more you'll love the product. So what we say is, number one, own the product, and let's work on your will. Number two, let's work on your living will. And number three, let's work on your power of attorney right away. That alone on you and your wife, because it's your will and your wife's will, your living will and your wife's living will, and on and on and on. All those legal documents would run you a lot on your own. Let us handle that and then use this product for at least that long. Let's say 24 months. And in 24 months, use it as much as you could possibly use it. Any lease that you're getting, have them review the lease paperwork. Any rental apartment, have them review the rental apartment. Any warranty, anything that you get, utilize your law firm for 24 months. Any legal question you have. What if you aren't treated properly at work? What rights, do you have? Give them a call. Explain to them the issue. And they'll let you know your legal rights. You use this for 24 months. You will never drop this product for the rest of your life. You will own it. And remember, it isn't you. It's you and your spouse and your kids while they're living with you. Isn't this amazing product? Now, not only that, if you're the representative, what is that, what will that do for you? Well, if you're using the will questionnaire and you're actually doing the work that you promised you would do, that will questionnaire, remember you asked them who would raise your kids? Okay, your brother would raise your kids. Here's what you say. Isn't it important that your brother knows who I am? Just in case anything did happen to you and your wife and your brother was the one raising the kids, wouldn't you rather your brother already know who I am? That way he would know who to call. He would know exactly what you wanted. Would you drive with me over to your brother's house and let me explain what we did with you so that your brother knows everything there is, to know. And then you want one brother raising the kids, the other brother handling the money, because one's smarter with the money than the other one is, right? Bring me to your other brother. Just drive with me. Let me explain to them what we did with you so that they know. So if anything happens, they know me, they have a relationship with me, they can reach me right away, and they know exactly what you want. Isn't that important? They always say, wow, that is really important. So now, as the representative, what did you do? The client that you wrote up the product, he now has all his legal stuff in order. Will, power of attorney, all that stuff in order. He has his very own law firm now helping him for whatever he needs. Now he brings you over to one brother. You're going to explain the F&A, the legal, the life insurance, everything. Worst case scenario, you're going to write up a new client. You're going to write up another legal, another life app. You're going to do everything. You're going to probably recruit one of the guys, right? The client that you wrote up that's driving with you, to visit his brothers, you have now another chance, to recruit him. You have a chance, to bring him value where that guy's like going, man, you're not like everybody else. You're special. Helping us with all this legal stuff and our insurance and our, the IRAs and the FNAs and all these letters he uses, And so now you have a legit chance of recruiting that person, recruiting his brother, recruiting his other brother, because they're all going to know the value that you brought. People, we need to really start writing this product in a huge way. You're missing out on an opportunity, huge opportunity, where that client will lead you not only to his closest friend, he's going to lead you to the person he would entrust leaving his little kids with to raise. That is their hottest market they could get. So it's the greatest chance you have, to recruit that client to work with you. And while you're in the process, maybe recruit the other brothers, and worst case, write up the other brothers as clients. It's not just what you earn on the legal product. It's an add-on product. It's not always about how much you earn off the deal. It's about what the client needs. In this case, they really need this product. They have no will in place. They got little kids. They need this product. They need legal representation. Now, you make all right income off of it, okay? I mean, if you're a district division RL regional vice president, you make $80, $90, $100, and $1.25. But you already closed the life app. You made that. A little rollover, probably you did. You made that. This is an add-on product that will, if you wrote that many of them a month, that's an extra what? $400. What's wrong with that? Right? But it's not that. It's the clients that you'll get. It's the recruits that you get. It's the lives that you'll change. But you, the representative, if you do not use the product, you'll never know how good it is. With us, we always highly recommend every rep of ours owns the product and uses it, because then they'll create these, like all the little training that I let you have were all client examples that I had. Well, if you own the product and you use the product and you start writing the product, you'll have your own client examples. And the more client examples you have, how awesome it is, you're going to write more of it. And then eventually, you have a residual income that's rolling in off of this product. The larger the organization, everybody's writing legals, you get all these residual checks too. This is a residual product when you're the RVP. Not at the other level, so you always want to work your way up to RVP, right? But it's a great product, for the client, for the rep. We're bringing the product because we realized our clients really needed this thing. No one else was working with the clients like we are, handling all their needs like we do. And it just brings more, and I love this word, brings more value to you as their representative. You make more, they have more, you get more recruits, you get more clients. It's a win-win-win-win for everybody. So folks, I would urge you, learn more. It's on Primerica Online. Read up about it. But really, this house is where it all starts. If you look at this house, the roof is very critical. You don't want to bring in emergency account. So one is the life app. It's the most critical one. It could wipe you out the quickest. But 1A is the legal. It's the roof of your house. And then you bring in all the pretty stuff. The granite, the wood floors, the cabinets. You make it look beautiful. Over time, you will grow this house into the strongest house possible. And your clients will love you. It'll be awesome. Hope that helps.